welcome to the EagleEye Sprint 21 review. So in the last sprint, we had a change of sprint goal. So initially we started the sprint and the goal was to redesign the checked by, or what's going to become the tagged in report, to support both tags and categories. Now, as we progressed through the work on the sprint, we realized that we had regressed in some of the functionality that we originally had. So we changed the sprint goal mid-sprint, a little bit naughty, I know, and we sort of pivoted to concentrating on getting the redesign of the sent email report working to support both tags and categories. So what we actually lost there is we lost the ability to check or to see the checked by emails. So we added that back in. So if you can just scroll down, Rick, skip over the time. And we'll have a look at the actual PBIs done in the sprint. So there was, just stay in the, okay, this is one. So yeah, these were the two completed items in the sprint. So the redesign of the email report, as I mentioned, and if we can jump into the actual report there, the next tab over. So this is the new report. So previously what we had, you can see we've got the tag drop down on the top left there. Previously, this was categories and it contained a mixture of checked by, which used to be a category. It's now a tag, and the other categories as well. So this is now being replaced with just a tag drop down. So this is going to include new things in future, such as per our conversation, for the record, etc. And if we have a look on the right hand side of the report, we can see all of the categories are now on this new sort of reporting graphic. So we've got a couple of ways that we can filter and slice this data. So first one is you can see all the emails at the moment are grouped by user. So we can also group them by week. If you can just click that toggle, Rick. So these are all of the emails sent grouped by week over a given time period, and we can see they've been categorized by other, suggested, etc. And I think the other two ones are chasing debtors and recruitment initial call. So if we go back to emails per user.
1 sec. Can you just minimize the left-hand pages now? Just to see what it looks like when it's bigger. Okay, cool. Continue.
Cool. So yeah, we've got all the categories on the right. The other thing we can actually do is click on them just to highlight those specific categories. So if you can just try, Rick, to click on the suggested one, it should highlight all those. I think are others still selected? Can we deselect other and just select suggested? There we go. There we go. So it's just kind of graying out all of the non-selected categories. So when we went through this in the review, one of the changes that we're going to feed into the next sprint is that when the other category is not selected, that data is actually going to disappear. So we're not just going to slice, we're going to actually filter by that data, and it should make the numbers for the other types of emails a lot more meaningful. So another thing I'll point out here is seeing that this other category is so big. This is kind of an indicator to us that we need to do something about it. So ideally, that other category would be quite small. So having such a large category like that, we want to do some investigation, figure out what types of emails go into that other category, and have specific categorizations for them. Cool. So let's jump back to the sprint. And so as I mentioned as well, the other thing that we had was the other email category that we added in, just so that we could see that on the report. We didn't have a category for that previously. So work that was in progress, we've got some work around a Bicep user-defined data type. So this is a bit of R&D that we did, and we have created a new rule that's just being reviewed around that topic. And there was another PBI in to upload the sprint review videos, such as this one. So that's all from the review. Any questions on that?
No, the data structure is good and the demo is awesome.
Cool. So let's move on to the sprint forecast now, Rick. So for sprint 22, we've decided to change the sprint duration because of the Easter holidays. We're going to go for a 1.5 week sprint this time around. And our sprint goal, now, is this goal still correct, Piers?
No, I think it should be to get the architecture and infrastructure done for the data loss problem.
Yeah, correct. So let's just update that one, Rick.
Can you tell me about the data loss problem, Daniel?
Yeah, so the problem at the moment is that anytime we add a new category and we do a re-import, what has been happening is we drop all the data and we re-import everything for the last, I think, 5 years. But the problem there is that anyone who's left the company, we can't get their data anymore. So there has been a little bit of data loss from a few people that have left. So this is something we really want to address as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's a very nasty one. I actually thought this was already addressed. Who picked up this problem?
I think it just came out of the sprint review conversation, me, Luke, and Piers. Yeah.
Right. And had the devs noticed this problem at all? Or, because we had discussed this before. I even discussed it in DC. So this is just arisen last week?
So Luke and Rick, you guys were aware of this before today? Or is this new to you today?
Yeah, I know this problem, but I didn't think it's a high priority.
Okay, all right. I gathered as much, and that's what I want to address. Data loss is more important than almost everything.
Yeah.
Know that you know the reason for the data loss, but it's still data loss to a customer. They don't expect it. It's a big problem. If you have a situation where somebody starts editing a record very slowly, and then somebody else goes in, edits a record, saves it, sees it was saved, and then they come back and the one that was editing it slowly clobbered their changes, that causes people to lose faith. Like sometimes you just lose stuff in this system. So that's why you can never have nonchalance about data loss. It's got to be top priority.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, totally agree, Adam. And that's why it's the goal of the sprint. So let's just scroll down, Rick, to the forecast if you want to show that in the email or GitHub, up to you.
Sorry, Rick, on that goal wasn't quite correct. We're not going to finish that PBI this sprint. We're just going to finish the architecture and infrastructure. So just clarify that in the goal in the email, please.
Yep. That will be this one.
Just say finish the architecture and infrastructure. Just put leave what you had, but just put dash finish architecture and infrastructure.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's keep going.
Let's jump back to GitHub and just close that one down. All right, so sprint 22, next one, as I mentioned, this one is going to be a week and a half's duration, just due to holidays and a bit of a change of dates. So we've got a PBI here to upload the sprint review videos. This was something that we started on last sprint, but we didn't finish. Just keep that one closed, Rick. It's okay. I'll just go through quite quickly. Bicep, we mentioned that. The aim is to finish that one off this sprint. So add categorization to the checked by report. This one here is, so in the last sprint, we were concentrating on the sent email report, but this one we're concentrating on the other report we had, which is checked by, which is probably going to be renamed the tag report or something similar to that. So that is another PBI we're going to work on. And as we mentioned before, the historical data, just avoiding any future data loss. So the first PBI there is just to re-architect or come up with an architecture that's going to securely, that's going to support securely storing historical emails. Once we have a plan, the next PBI is to create the infrastructure for that via Bicep, get all that up in Azure. The next PBI related from that is to do a one-off import. So what we're going to do there is grab all of the emails from that's currently in the graph, get them into that secure database. We won't be doing anything further from this point, but just get them all in there so we have them and we don't lose anything further. Next PBI we have was, maybe I might get you to open up this one, Rick, around a specific report. So this one here, so when clicking on the emails or the emails per user or email per week toggle, the filter is reset, and this is just a bug that we're going to fix around the report. And I think this was one that Isabel found recently. All right, close that down. Next one, we can open up this one. So Power BI, remove the other categories on the email per user report when clicking a specific category. So right now we're kind of just highlighting the different category, but what we want to do is make them actually a filter as well. So I mentioned this before, for example, if we click on the suggested emails category, all of the other categories will disappear so that we'll be able to more easily see the, the relative numbers on the chart there. A bit hard to see at the moment. Next one, Rick. And then lastly is to upload a video to YouTube, which will be this video that we are recording right now. Any questions about the sprint forecast?
No, excellent.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap it up.
One other thing, move that categorization below the data stuff. I think it's less important after retrospecting on it.
Is it this one?
Yep.
And while you're doing that, just one little bit of feedback. Luke, I know that you had a done video. This is for everyone. If you do a done video, it's awesome. Please make sure you give me a call, or at least try to make sure that I watch the video before the sprint review.
Oh, okay.
They're high value stuff. We also have a rule, an SSW rule on it. It's called escalate PBIs. So, it's super visible. Okay, but definitely make that call so people see it.
Yep. Cool. All right, let's wrap up the video. So thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, see you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.